Hi, everybody. So we are getting fancy. I'm having more access. 1,797 days. So, since Richard was forcibly removed from his barracks room on Fort Bliss and his life was taken from him, he is a whistleblower. That's why, reporting on the criminal trafficking that's connected to the cartel that were operating on Fort Bliss and along the El Paso borderland, and into Juarez, right? And into Juarez. Um, of course, you think, oh, what do you mean by that? It's cross border. It's cross border. That's what I mean by that. So, I could probably say it a little better, but we are trying to give it to you straight that there are cross businesses between Juarez and El Paso, and those businesses are connected. Uh, well, the funeral business seems to be connected to the cartel. And we know that there is an infiltration within the agencies and institutions of El Paso, the government institutions and agencies of El Paso, to of the cartel tied individuals. We know that with uh, Luis Rene Diaz from Bill Hicks. We know Bill Hicks. Um, his number one donor was Purchase Funeral Homes. That is a Juarez um, business. And here they are, the top donor for Bill Hicks, the usurper DA of El Paso, the prosecutor who didn't prosecute, did he? He didn't prosecute. They talk all this talk, but they don't prosecute. The Walmart case was never had a trial date, never had a trial date, never went to trial, never prosecuted. And also Bill Hicks is the attorney for Purchase Funeral Homes. And that is really huge because Purchase is then connected to Mario Raskin Ortiz, right? Mario Raskin Ortiz, who is from Juarez. I guess he's from Juarez. He is a foreign national. He's illegally in this country. But Veronica Escobar has her contacts with him. She's the one that brought him over as when she was the county judge, and she approved his payments. And I think it's a whopping $430,000 a year as an illegal and unqualified as a chief medical examiner determining the cause and manner of death. The cause and manner of death of these remains. And what else does he do? Does he sign off for cremation, right? Does he sign off for this? And now with this body, this. Sorry, let me put this on so I can see. Now with almost 400 bodies. I'm sure it's more than that. I'm sure it's more being piled up, and they're showing pictures now where they're kind of in body bags. I was viewing the articles where the bodies weren't in body bags, and we know that there were some in uniform. We know about the shoes. We know about the dismembered body parts in that. We know about not being refrigerated, and it's a mess. It's a human. It things like this aren't supposed to happen anymore, but it is a sacrilege, and Um, more and more news is coming out to absolutely show you that there is a crackdown going on, and that's what's um, the positive side of all of this hell. The positive side of this hell is that it is coming out, that there is a crackdown going on. This could not be coming out the way it is with, Representative Veronica Escobar is at risk so much, with Bill Hicks as at risk, which means that Governor Abbott is at risk because Governor Governor Abbott was meeting with the governor of Chihuahua, who is absolutely implicated in all of this, Governor Campos, Maru Campos. He was just meeting with her for border securities, uh, whatever agreements, right? Agreements. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What is he doing? What is he doing? So, when you look at, and I'll post some of those up too, if and yeah, it's there. You just have to look them up. Her name is Governor Maru Campos, and she's the one that General Kelly was colluding with, working for. I mean, working for, which is just, he's such a traitor. He's absolutely a traitor. But you see, it's huge business. This funeral business is such a big business, especially if you could just send the the bodies over the border and just be dumped in a narco mass rotting body dumping ground, right? Um, you know, and you're charging families, and then you just give them a urn of animal animal ash and say, "Oh yeah, yeah, here's your loved one." Um, this is what's been going on. Um, it's the most hellish thing you've ever heard. Right? It's like, no, this cannot be happening right now with all of our taxpayer money going for oversight and oversight and more oversight and more oversight and more agencies and more, we're supposed to be secure. We're supposed to prevent this kind of corruption and colluding at the top levels. I mean, you're talking about the top levels of government, that they are, making a mint off of the most disgusting, hellish kind of criminal syndicate you can imagine. Um, and sacrilege, absolutely sacrilege, and just such a violation of so many families that entrusted their loved ones to be properly treated, that their bodies would be properly treated. But this confirms everything that we have been investigating and discovering and documenting and filing, that our son was very misused, and they really messed with his body after they took his life. They messed with his body, and this confirms all that, and it confirms the numbers, the autopsy numbers we have. This confirms that they could absolutely take bodies. It is really, it exposes so many people, because so many people, and I'm not going to name names right now, but they know who they are, were telling us, oh, they could never take bodies over to Juarez. They would never take a body. They couldn't take a body. CBP would stop them. There's security, this and that. Um, no, they were absolutely had a system going, a train. Call it a train. Call it a criminal syndicate train, funeral train. Um, that they absolutely could take. bodies over to Juarez, and they absolutely had people in place. You have Mario Raskin-Ortiz. You have Representative Veronica Escobar. Where is she in all of this? Where is the outrage from her? Where is the demand, for the State Department to absolutely get an international investigation out there? I mean, where's the UN to absolutely send an international investigation? They're supposed to care about these kind of things, right? Um, it's uh, this is exposing so many. And where is the military leadership? I mean, it's of course for us, it's about finding our son's remains and getting accountability for who did this to him. Um, but there's so many veterans, so many um, military that live in the El Paso, Fort Bliss area, and there's accidents, car accidents. There's plenty of deaths there. I mean, Fort Bliss is called the death camp, right? The death camp. And where is the military leadership outraged with this funeral collusion? Because we absolutely know that the funeral um, homes there, businesses there, were mismatching, right? We're colluding with one another. We're using each other, using their cremation machines, ovens, or whatever. Um, and they, and it also, uh, I have so many questions going through my mind because I'm just thinking about the A&R Chavira Auto Group. I'm thinking about if they're sharing cremation ovens, are they sharing vehicles? What are they? What are they sharing? Are they renting vehicles? Because we absolutely know that all the this fake chief of police of El Paso ISD is absolutely involved in this. We know the fake medical examiner is involved in all of this. We know the fake DA is involved in all of this. I mean, he's really deep involved in this. Um, and then we know that the fake judges of the El Paso criminal law magistrate court is involved in all of this. I mean, it absolutely explains why the voters of El Paso have been disenfranchised and not allowed to vote for their judges, right? They didn't even want to have someone authentic as the chief medical examiner who is a judicial officer, right? A judicial officer, because of the powers that a medical examiner has, is judges the cause and manner of death and witnesses to that in court, and can do many more things, many more. So we know that they've set this up so that um, uh, there would be uh, no prosecution, no accountability. And if you complained to the Texas bar, they had someone there. If you complained about a judge to the State Commission on Judicial Conduct, they had a person there. Um, we're very, very happy that Sylvia Burun de Firth, who was really, my Oma would call her a hemshoe, a hemshoe. She was the block, right? She was the block, and that commission gets a lot of money, to oversee the judges that they're doing the right thing. And she was the block. She's really and anyway, it took a lot. We hear it took a lot for her to be removed, to be defunded, and good. I'm telling you, it's a good thing, because taxpayer money was being wasted on the Commission on Judicial Conduct, the State Commission on Judicial Conduct, with her then there blocking any kind of investigations into, like, San Madrano, who absolutely needs to be investigated. There was no trial date ever set for the Walmart mass shooting case. You know, we need to wrap our heads around that. We need to understand millions and millions of dollars were allocated for that, were spent on that, were wasted on that. And for what? For for seal and deals and delay and plea deals, really? And they just hid all the information. They hid all the information about the Mayellas. And there's more, and there's so much more, right? So, and they're just living there, um, and the media is giving them a quid pro quo of silence, while they hammer uh, whistleblowers. It's it's really despicable, and they need to be held accountable. And we know that Manny Chavira is very close to Bob Moore. He has to be very close to Bob Moore, um, of El Paso Matters. Everything makes sense, because all the connections are being exposed. Um, so there is absolutely a crackdown going on. That's the good news. And I really feel upbeat, um, because the big, beautiful bill was passed. And why do I feel upbeat about that? Because we've had so many other humongous bills passing, and they said you have to pass it and then you can read it. You had to pass it and then you can read it, right? I mean, do you remember that? I think that was Pelosi that said that. She said you have to pass the bill in order to read it, and now they're having it read before, and doing all this stuff for Trump's big beautiful bill. And um, but the evidence shows that there's a crackdown, and that um, we need a lot. Uh, we need change at the border. The the threat of this cartel-tied criminal trafficking that's in the grips of the Chinese. And I'm not just saying that. I'm just saying with the evidence, absolutely. Um, there is no guessing in it. And it's a threat to our country. So if this is because the last, what is it, the last 5 months have been so extraordinary, haven't they? Um, and so, you judge them by their fruit. And so I'm really happy that we got this big, beautiful bill passed, and we can move on because I think it was very important for the border allocations and everything, um, to move on to the full accountability. And this whole exposure in Juarez, I don't think would ever happen. It's not a new thing. This has been going on. And they even admit it that some of these bodies are um, from 2020 or something like this. That's what they want to tell you. These rotting bodies. Uh, so this is nothing new. This is not like a secret that these bodies are going over there. And that the bodies come from there too, right? Because there's um, you're talking about not 100, not 50. I mean, 50 would be terrible. Not 100, not 150, not 175, not 200, not 250, not 275, not 300, not 375. You're talking about, I would say, over 400, or even double that. They're because they're always, maybe even more than that, because they started with 10 and they knew that there was almost 400, right? Then they go, well, so there must be more. Because if they're going to go with 10 at the beginning, they're just not level with us and what has been going on and how many of these mass um, body rotting body dumping grounds there are, right? Um, they're not honest with us about it, and we know that um, these funeral homes are absolutely involved in this. Purchase is involved in this. We have confirmed that purchase is involved in this. And purchase works very closely with Sunset Funeral Homes. It and what about Martin Funeral Homes? And they all serve the veteran community. And why is that important? Well, because then you have an open checkbook, right? You have government paying for uh, the death benefits and the funerals and the cremations and that. And um, absolutely. So this really is an American problem. And when you have um, dead bodies in uniform, right? That is a problem. And because that means that there is absolutely corruption because bodies don't get sent to a crematorium in uniform. Okay, it just no. Mm-mm. Um, and I think a lot of families in Juarez want answers. They were up there at the AG's office demanding answers. And of course, we understand how hard it is to get answers um, and how evil these government officials are that work for us, right? They work for us, and how they can just have like hearts of stone, just total hearts of stone, and demand their paycheck at the same time. So, yeah, so it was really good that USAID got cut, well, really moved to the Department of State. Um, and so we'll see with this big, beautiful bill. We've gotten feedback that it is the big provisions in there are about the border. And it's really important to um, getting justice for Richard's case. And this is, the all the corruption. You can tell the crackdown because they just arrested the Chavez guy. Chavez is a very interesting name in Richard's case. It's a very interesting name, um, but and he's definitely Sinaloa cartel, and he was just arrested. Why? For um, the gun trafficking, right? Gun trafficking. And then you had another arrest or another um, news article about uh, falsified documents being submitted into a court case. So we know that everything that we have said um, is getting backed up now. We've been right all along. There has been tampering in Richard's case, tampering with Richard's files. There has been tampering and desecration with our son's remains. And this is why we, just are absolutely moving forward and getting justice. There has to be, this fight has to happen, right? This fight has to happen for those in Juarez, for those in El Paso, for those on Fort Bliss, in our military. A message has to be made very, very clear, and to the leadership that we give everything to. Those generals, we give everything to them. We give them respect. We give them housing. We give them great retirement. We give them great pay. We give them, and they're just, I can't tell you how many traitors, you know. So, uh, in Richard's case, right, with Garrett and McConville and Mealy and um, of course Sean Bernabe and David Stewart, just absolute traitors. Clem Coward, absolutely traitors. So, yeah, and they have authority over so many of our sons and daughters who volunteered to be in the military, and they had so much power over them, and they were given everything. So, absolutely, accountability needs to happen. And do not tell me they didn't know about all of this. They might have even been part of all this business investment because it's a load of money, y'all. The criminal trafficking with the criminal body trafficking, and don't forget there's the organ trafficking. The funeral business itself is it's just it's a big business, and yeah, and I'm thinking about the hundreds of thousands of children that were trafficked through the emergency intake center on Fort Bliss and that are now mostly not alive. Um, yeah, they absolutely know what's going on, and they covered. Where is Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz? Where is he? Right? Where is Senator Graham? Where is Veronica Escobar? This is an where are the human rights activists? Right? Where are the um, look at this piles of body? What do you call that? It's that absolutely needs to be addressed, and um, and there is coverage now. There is coverage of this, so that's good news. Okay, everyone, please, and why is that good news? Because sharing, the more that is transparent, the more that we are going to address these problems. And that's why your sharing is so important. Sharing and liking and all of that is so important. Um, and we just want to say thank you. Thank you very, very much. So it looks like it's 4th of July. So happy birthday, America. Happy birthday, USA. 4th of July. My husband was giving me some really fun little facts about the 4th of July. You know that the first 4th of July celebration was in Rhode Island. He told me the city, I can't remember it. And he was telling me all kinds of neat little trivia about the 4th of July. And it's um, it's a great time to spend with family to celebrate our great country that allows a Gold Star family to fight like hell, fight for 5 years. And just amazing, even in all of this tangled web, these tentacles of this very evil creature, uh, cartel tied evil creature. We have come this far, and we are on the precipice right now, really, for accountability. We really are. It is every indication, every indication from our contacts, our sources, is that there is absolute a crackdown. That's the word, a crackdown going on behind the scenes. So keep praying and thank you and keep sharing. And thank you so much. We love you. Thank you, Anicia, for coming on and for your prayers and your love, because this God's hand has been all over this. So thank you so much for your prayers. And I just this is something too before I go. Where are the churches? Where are the priests? Every priest needs to be going to that rotting body dumping ground and saying prayers over those bodies. Where were they? Everyone. They needed to bring out their holy water and bless that those grounds. There is so much evil there, so much occult, so much darkness that they have not even seen um, the light of God. They haven't seen the light of God. I can't even imagine the workers there. They're working in such darkness, such evil spirit. And where are the priests? They need to go. And now they're taking these bodies, and the first thing they should have done is called the after they called the authorities to call the priests. So where is the outrage? I think it's starting to happen. So thank you so much. God bless you, and I'll be back on tomorrow.